Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is the 12th of May 2025, and the top news for crypto is as follows. We will start today with a new law for Bitcoin from Governor Lummis, which allows the US to exceed 1 billion BTC. Specifically, the bill, which was first introduced in July, allowed the US government to buy 200,000 BTC every year for 5 years in order to collect a total of 1 billion BTC. However, the 2025 law on the enhancement of innovation, technology, and competitiveness through improved investment at the national level of Bitcoin, which was newly introduced, opens the door for the US to acquire and maintain more than 1 billion BTC, as long as they are obtained through legal means, such as direct purchase, seizure, and so on. Based on this particular law, which has been newly introduced, the US can do this, and this bill continues to exist. We wonder when and if it will be approved. Moving on, another piece of good news for American citizens is that Parliament approved the vote for the reversal of the DeFi law that former President Biden had put in place. Specifically, the House of Representatives, with a vote of 292 in favor and 132 against, decided to cancel the law that would require DeFi platforms to collect and report taxable information. As the president of the commission stated, this law is unfair and unworkable, as DeFi platforms do not collect and cannot even collect the necessary information to enforce this law. Their software never checks digital data, so another headache left the US, and many DeFi projects also. Moving on to ETFs, the SEC has delayed its decision on several ETFs, including Solana's ETF, Litecoins, XRPs, and Dogecoins, in order to conduct additional checks on the matter. Regarding exchanges, Kraken has obtained an electronic money license in the United Kingdom, effectively expanding its operations to England. Meanwhile, Coinbase has received the green light and now holds a crypto trading license in India, meaning Coinbase is back in India. For our last exchange-related news, the European Union claims that it is investigating OKX for more than $100 million in money laundering from Bybit. Specifically, according to Bloomberg, EU regulatory authorities are investigating the OKX exchange, which may have played a role in the money laundering of $100 million following a hack on Bybit. That is, the hackers allegedly transferred the money to OKX in order to money laundering it. OKX has officially denied any investigation by the European Union, but we know from Bybit's CEO that $100 million was transferred by the criminals to OKX, most likely for money laundering. Now that OKX is legislated in Europe, it is not impossible that an investigation may take place. However, according to the exchange, nothing is happening at the moment. As for exchanges in general, the major platforms do not seem to be performing well. As from January to February, they have seen decreased trading activity. Binance has recorded a 23% decrease in the amount of money transferred to the exchange. Coinbase has seen a 29% drop, and Bybit has fallen by 27%, while OKX has risen by 15%. These numbers are not very favorable, especially for companies like Coinbase, which also operates on the stock market. For this reason, along with the overall state of the cryptocurrency market, Coinbase's stock price has dropped by 9% over the past 5 days, and by 28% over the past month. Due to this situation, Ms. Kathy Wood from ARK Invest has purchased additional shares of Coinbase, investing $11.5 million in the company. Moving on to cryptocurrencies, Solana has seen a 93% drop in revenue since January, as the meme coin bubble appears to have burst. As crypto news have been saying for months, the only thing keeping Solana afloat is meme coins, but these coins are not fundamentally valuable, and the bubble was bound to burst, something that now seems to have happened. According to DeFi Llama's data, if we examine the revenue produced by the Solana network on a weekly chart, we see that on January 20th, its revenue reached $55 million. Whereas by February 24th, this number had dropped to $4.26 million. This sharp decline in revenue is now reflected in Solana's overall value. With its value, Solana is down 15% on the 7-day chart at the moment I am writing this episode. Moving on from Solana, let's go to Ethereum, where we learned in very simple terms that the testnet was finally successful. So we can slowly move on to the big upgrade, Pectra, which we are waiting for. Moving on to the crypto market, we see Bitcoin standing at $81,000 after a very big green candle yesterday. I have not found any reason to justify it apart from the new law for Bitcoin, which may allow America to buy more than 1 million BTC if this bill passes. Now, moving on to negative news, Mr. Trump is agitating the markets again as he announced new tariffs in Canada, specifically on steel and aluminum. In a post on Truth Social, which was just released yesterday, Mr. Trump states that he has ordered an additional 25% in tariffs, bringing the total to 50% on steel and aluminum imports from Canada. All of this is set to take effect today, meaning additional tariffs on Canada are coming. In addition, according to JP Morgan, the probability of recession in the US has increased by 40%, as JP Morgan states that Mr. Trump's policies are too heavy on the economy and raise the chances of recession. Meanwhile, Mr. Anthony Pompliano has an interesting point of view. She claims that Trump has manipulated the markets in order to drive her down. Pompliano, the founder and CEO of Professional Capital, makes videos and shares his market theories. In one of his most popular theories, he suggests that Trump's administration may have deliberately created uncertainty in the financial markets to pressure Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell into lowering interest rates. If this happens and interest rates fall, it will increase the chances that the US will not have to reinvest approximately $7 trillion in debt owed in the coming months. However, if rates do not fall, there is a very high chance that the US will have to inject additional money to cover its debts. And since we are talking about interest rates in the US, let me remind you that today, the latest inflation numbers for the US will be released. These are the numbers that Mr. Powell will analyze before deciding in 7 days whether the US will cut interest rates this month. As of now, there is a 96% chance that there will be no rate cut. If the numbers are positive, this percentage may change. That wraps up the top news for crypto. Today is the 12th of May 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.